Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to my channel. So I think the last video that I made was also on a free software. So there was a website that I mentioned. It's called sarahsforge.dev. And if you go under products, you will see a lot of different softwares which are available. Some of them are for free. Some of them you have to pay for it, and so on and so forth. I think the last software that we reviewed is actually called SignalScope. It's actually based on Patreon base, so you can either pay $0 or you can pay whatever you want. The other software, which is specifically designed for Windows, turns out to be a software called CellScope. And the purpose of this particular software is this is the initial release of CellScope. Support live tracking of UEs. UE means your mobile devices, data usage, and calls on a given cell site. So if you were to just click on it, so this is the display it looks like, and you can use your HackRF or any other device. For example, what are some of the hardware supports? LibreSDR, HackRFs, and to actually look at the live tracking of UEs, which is your mobile devices. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually do that, and we're going to actually look at LTE signals using a software called CellScope. Just to give you a review how you can get the software, just simply go in. You have to pay the minimum amount, which is $0, for example. Of course, you should support a developer for this, for making such a beautiful software. You can go to cart. You can proceed to checkout. Go ahead and register yourself here. If you're not, in my case, I am already registered. So I'm just going to show you the process where you can simply type in your password. And I'm going to log in for you guys. And once I log in, continue on Stripe. And just simply type in your email address and do the processing part. And eventually, now when you go to your dashboard, you will see the software is available. So for example, so now I have downloaded multiple times, so you can go to CellScope and you can just simply download this. The software is ready and you need to install it. So now this particular software is already there in my download folder. It's called CellScope. I have connected my HackRF with the antenna. Antenna is outside, so we're going to actually look at it. Simply go in. Of course, if you're using your RTL SDR or HackRF, you need to have ZDIC for it. So you can watch my previous video how you can just simply get that software and then just simply use that. So I have already plugged in my HackRF. The application is right here, which is called CellScope. Now, when you look, just simply run this. And this is the stuff. So what are some of the sources supports? You can have an HackRF Plus, LibreSDR or AirSpy, and then you can have different things. Why not RTL SDR? Because RTL SDR is limited in terms of frequency, because you're going from 50 megahertz all the way up to 1800 megahertz, and some of the LTE bands are not there. One of the most the LTE frequency allocation, they are like in different bands. You have different downlink bands, and because LTE is based on frequency division duplexing, which means you can either you'll have a separate frequency for downlink, which means when you're receiving a phone call and when you're taking a service and uploading, there's a different frequency. I'm just going to start this, and the band that I'm going to look at, the downlink band, is somewhere around 2110 all the way up to 2170. That is band 1 for downlink. Then you also have band 3, which is 1805 all the way up to 1880 megahertz. That is also a downlink band. Then you have another band as 2620 or 2.620 gigahertz all the way up to 2.690 gigahertz. There's another band. There's also another band, band 20, which is there from 791 all the way up to 821 megahertz. So we're going to focus on 2100 megahertz band. So I'm going to choose my sample rate to be the maximum, which is 20 mega samples. I'm going to choose my frequency to be somewhere around 2140. Because I have experimented with this, so I'm just going to choose this to be 2140, and then I'm going to explain the terminology for you. So now once you have everything set, and if you have your HackRF is working, just simply hit the start, and this is what you will see. All right, now I'll explain this in a little bit more. So you can increase the gain, you can increase your VGA, you can increase your LNA gain as well. Now this is the spectrum that you're getting. We're working at our downlink band, LTE band 1, which is from 2110 all the way up to 2170 megahertz. This is the waterfall graph for it, and so on and so forth. And it's trying to detect the PCI frequencies and things like that. And now, if you were to look at the control is quite simple. You have the LNA, you have your VGA gain. If you want to turn on the amplifier, you can do that with HackRF. I'm not going to do that. You can also select the FFT size as well. Auto scale is already there. What you can display the font size, you can increase the font size, and so on and so forth. And you can also record the signal in a waveform so you can use it later. Now, what does LTE comprises of? So LTE, when we talk about LTE, we're looking at different type of data rates. And LTE is their long-term evolution because you want to get data rates. Let's just call it 3.9G because LTE-A is actually 4G. Now, when you're looking at the first thing that this thing is trying to detect is actually this PCI. What does PCI is actually physical cell identity. So it's like a tower number. So this can be from all the way from 0 to 503. So this PCI number is actually from 0 all the way up to 504 PCI. So imagine having an LTE tower that has a name tag. So this is sort of like a name tag for it. Now, the next thing that you should focus on is actually your PSS and SSS signals. Now, PSS, after you detect your PCI, the PSS is actually going to be your primary synchronization signal. This is the first signal your cell phone searches for. And the purpose of this signal is to detect LTE signals, trying to obtain the time slots, and determine your sector ID. Now, this has three possible combinations. All right, this PSS value. This can be either 0, 1, and 0, 1, and 2. These are the two values in PSS you should see: 0, 1, and 2. This is by the standard itself. So, and this signal gets transmitted every 5 milliseconds. So it depends on the frequency that I'm tuned into, and it depends on where my antenna is mounted and things like that. So this is your primary synchronization signal. Now, this is very important because using that PSS number and SSS number, we'll be able to calculate what is going to be our PCI number. So that's the idea behind it. I don't want to go into details of this. Now, the second signal that your phone receives, once your phone detects your PSS, either is going to be your 0, 1, or 2, is going to look for an SSS signal. Now, SSS signal is actually known as secondary synchronization signal. You need to have all of these present in order for you to detect these signals. Now, this signal is actually used for frame synchronization, for cell identity, and for duplex mode detection. So a downlink mode, uplink mode, and things like that. So this is actually, and you can have 168 possible SSS groups. You can have this. So right here in SSS. Now the next thing is, before we talk about PSR, we want to talk about what is CFO. CFO is basically carrier frequency offset. Now, what carrier frequency offset is, that actually allows me to, which is right here. It has detected only 2 frequencies. I'm surprised. Now, this is actually carrier frequency offset, and this is the biggest problem that we have in wireless communication. So it is basically due to an oscillator mismatch, and sometimes you will have this frequency offset because of Doppler shift and this. And since LTE is based on what you call OFDMA, which is orthogonal frequency division multiple access, and where you're transmitting subcarriers, because of that you will have this. So this is basically sort of like a correction factor that is there in your signal. Now, PCR is basically in LTE network, it actually measures the paging success rate when you're trying to page. So what would be that? So this is basically what that is. It's measure the percentage of successful paging responses that you're getting. So this is what it is. So once you have everything locked in, you can choose this. Now this PSI number, as you can see this is like 390. Here we go. So we got somewhere around 2160. I'm also getting a good signal. I can lower down my gain as well. And I might need to increase my gain. All right. So now when I look at it, okay, here we go. These are the detected signal that I'm seeing on my screen. Am I seeing anything new? Not really. All right. And we can also look at some other band as well. So basically now what happens when you are trying to get this phone call and the process works, what this does is actually does this. It detects PSS to find the presence of an LTE signal. Then after that, decode your SSS to determine the cell identity, which is actually this, and then estimate and correct the CFO so the OFDM subcarriers are aligned. And then after that, the decoding process takes place. There was also another band that we actually looked at. We're going to just try to see if we'll be able to capture that signal as well, which is somewhere around 2620. So let me stop this and let me tune this to 2620 to see if I'll be able to get that signal at 2620. So let me hit enter and let's see if there are any LTE signal at 2620. Generally it takes some time. Let me stop this and start this. And let's try to increase the frequency just to see if I have any LTE signal at that frequency at 2620 and all the way up to 2690. Not much of an activity at this band, which is actually called band 7. So most of the activity is taking place somewhere around in 21 downlink, 2160. So let me try 21.6 and let me hit start just to see. You might have to stop it and start it again. So yeah, somewhere around this band. This is where most of the activity is taking place. So let me just go back. So a very cool effort of making this particular software. So right here we go. I might have to run this for a while before I start detecting a new connection or anything like that. But as you can see, this is what a CellScope looks like. This is what these terminology basically means when you are looking at this. What does these things means? So I hope you find this video to be helpful and amazing software. I might have to run it for a while before I start detecting a cell. But that's the idea behind this software. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching.